Good evening, Canada, viewers of Voice of Canada. We are back with our brand new episode of this week with my host, Ghada Hamadani. I'm your host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla. We have a very dynamic and a learned speaker, guest speaker, who hails from originally from Pakistan. She has a rich experience in business as well as the Pakistani politics. And as well as when she came to Canada, she has a lot of experience in retail and marketing and various things. Plus, she represented the Pakistani General Musharraf's party, APML, over here in Canada. We welcome you to our show, Seema Siddiqi.
That's
Would you
right.
like to introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. I believe I am Seema Siddiqi. First of all, I would like to say thank you to Voice of Canada and the team here who invited me. Thank you very much.
Okay, welcome to Voice of Canada. I'm Ghada Hamadani, co-hosting with Asphandiar Wadiwalla. So this week we'll be with you and Seema Siddiqi. You're welcome, Seema.
Thank you.
Okay, Seema. So you migrated to Canada. So can you give us a little brief about, like it's the startup here in Canada? It's like why you migrated? What did you do? What was your plan, please?
Yes, sure. Actually, I was in US. First, I migrated to US. I was there for 10 years. And when I migrated, the situation, the political conditions in Pakistan were really bad after General Ziaul's assassination. At that point, we decided to leave the country.
Leave USA and come to Canada.
No, basically, I left Pakistan and I went to
Okay,
US.
after the assassination of General Zia.
Yes, because things were not as easy. So we decided that we were young. So we said that why not try US because we don't know when the things are going
But
to
he
be
was
better.
killed in an air crash.
Yes, unfortunately.
It was a pre-planned.
Yes,
It was a pre-planned, but he
yes.
was killed in air crash.
Yes, it
Correct.
was.
Is there
It
any
was not
relation?
assassination.
Is there any relation between you and the gentleman you're mentioning?
No. She's talking of Pakistani politics.
Yes,
Okay, yeah.
yes, and he was at that time ruling the country.
Yes, yeah.
So a lot of things got disturbed in Pakistan, unfortunately, at that point. And at that time, my ex-husband was he was a medical officer in Pakistan Steel Mills.
Very good.
So we got a lot of he used to get a lot of threatening calls actually.
Wow.
And because he used to sign some bills, so they used to tell him that different parties used to call and say that we'll give you a certain percentage.
That time you should have contacted me. Your labor union. There was a lady of Pakistan Steel.
Okay.
She used to come and have tea with me every week.
Oh wow.
Because their labor union was very strong and we had such strong relations. Every week she used to come, the husband and wife, and have tea with me.
Even the CM chief medical officer, he was also good friends of my brother actually too.
Yeah, for people non-Pakistani, so would you like to give us a little brief about the affiliation between your family and the party? So
yes, actually,
she's not a political.
Yeah, but why they were affected? Why they were affected?
The country got affected because the economy got affected.
Yeah.
Overall, the country got affected. And at that time, a lot of people didn't know that there is so much pressure, in a lot of jobs,
and
right?
there was so much corruption going on in Pakistan Steel.
Yes.
Pakistan Steel was from day one a white elephant for Pakistan.
True,
people really made money out of it. Otherwise, it was a very huge plant.
It was,
and Pakistan would have really progressed and prospered because I've been many times to Pakistan Steel at the honor of visiting, but they did not handle it well.
Yeah, actually, it was in the initial stage, it was really making
very profitable.
Yes, very profitable.
Because steel is the foundation of a country. Whichever country has got a steel mills has got a very strong foundation.
That's true.
They can build, they can construct.
True. Yeah.
At that time, the corruption was not as bad as it is now. And a lot of people, media was not, permitted to say quite a few things. General Pervez Musharraf, when he came, he's the one who really helped the media, boosted the, basically not only the media, women empowerment and a lot of things. So when I left the country, things were not as open as they are now, the issues. So we left, and before my marriage, also I went 2 times as a tourist with my brothers
But
to
Seema ji,
US.
Pakistan has always been in turmoil since the time of its
Unfortunately,
independence. And let me tell you, it's in the history of Pakistan that nearly half of its age, it has been ruled by the army. But now, after 2, 3 terms, the democratic government is completing. Then at least we are contented and happy. Okay, but prior to it was immediately the army used to take power.
see, it came into existence in 1947, so you can't compare it with India,
But
obviously.
still,
But
India has got democracy, and democracy is too infant in Pakistan. Let me tell you.
I understand, but and I agree to a certain point. But what I particularly believe is that even if you go on, if you talk about human rights, because I'm doing a little bit of volunteer
Very
there
good, very good.
as
We'll
well.
come on that also. You can
So
say, tell them.
so all I'm trying to say here is that even the human rights, basically, uh, the Declaration for Human Rights, it came into existence in 1948. So before that, West had a lot of issues, not only religious, cultural, and there was a lot of things going on, a lot of feuds, issues, fights, this and that. Then this thing came into existence, right? So it took a while also. So for Pakistan, it's a new country. You can't expect everything to be happening overnight. Unfortunately, every time when army tried to give, actually tried for the democracy, people wanted democracy. Even army doesn't have time for all this nonsense. They have to see
When army has become ambitious, let me tell you, Hambi, we were also in the government and we were also meeting the army generals and this and that. They become really, really power hungry. A stage came when they become power hungry, and they just wanted to grab power as soon as they see the turmoil with the democratic government.
Yeah, it's always the case
But
actually in general. It's
yeah,
not specifically to any
yeah.
country. It's like different parties.
Chalo,
They see
let's
the
go
opportunity.
forward on a lighter note. Seemaji, inform our viewers of Voice of Canada your great retail experience. What we see from your bio that you had run even very successfully 2 souvenir shops, which does a roaring business in a place tourist spot like Niagara Falls, which is the World Resort.
Yes.
So talk to us about that, how you managed it, and why did you dispose of that business? That was an everlasting business.
Actually, it will again go back to States. When I moved to States, US, my ex-husband wanted to study USMLE and all that, right? I tried starting a small business. I started with the scratch. Fortunately, it turned out really good. I had within Orlando in the souvenir business around 100, and I started from one account and I had 102 accounts, and we were doing very well. When we applied for Canada, and I came here even as a buyer because of my business, because doctors were not encouraged then.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, when we came here, because I had this experience of 8 years of souvenir business there, I tried opening a souvenir shop. Because
It's a very, very good business, especially
yes,
even in downtown Toronto. The souvenir business shops are doing very well.
no,
But Niagara has special attraction because the tourists from all around the world
exactly,
visits
yes,
Niagara Falls, and the profit margins are very high.
very true. And then the overhead expenses are also very high.
Very
So
high.
you have to
Correct.
see everything, just like any tourism place. But the thing is that, the reason I sold it was right after 9/11, because we had a feeling that after the unfortunate, incident, that because the tourists were coming from all over the world, like from Europe, America, and everywhere else, Asia, but
Around the world.
yes, around the world.
Niagara is an international place.
But the buying power, were
From US.
from US
Yes.
and Arabs, because
And the Middle Eastern countries.
So the thing is that if you know that the tourists won't, there will be effect after 9/11 for the entry in the country and all that, that was the point. I decided now this is the time I should, wind up this business. And I was lucky that I sold one of the shop, at that time, because right next year, even the hotels, like 4-star hotels, big hotels, couldn't even survive, and they,
Afraid.
there was a
Yeah,
major
the
issue.
slump comes, and Niagara Falls is a seasonal
Dependent.
business.
Yes, and it
Seasonal
depends on
business
tourists.
because they have got a very heavy snowfall, and during snowfall, the business hotels hardly survive. People go, people who are adventurous, people who want to stay, but it is not the same.
Oh
They have
yes,
to shut the restaurants. They have to limit their capacity.
capacity.
They have to close down few floors of the hotels.
Yes,
Only few floors are operatable. So that's how they manage the winter. They even lay off the staff too. During the winters.
exactly, in the hotel industry and everywhere. And the other thing is, at that time when I was there, I actually migrated to Canada in 1998. So things were very different in Niagara than now,
Hmm.
because now there is a lot of locals who have shifted there. There are local businesses. There is halal choices.
Yeah,
And
lots
that,
of
yeah,
Pakistan,
yes,
Indo-Pakistan people are over
yes,
there,
yes,
and all the restaurants,
yes.
ethnic restaurants, have opened, and
And
it
it's
has become a very,
a
very
bit year-round too.
multicultural,
That's right.
very multicultural.
And more projects are coming too.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
then they are having conference centers. They are just
Mhm.
trying to make it as good as
Yeah, we had
Orlando
a
now.
convention.
Yeah.
2 times we went to convention at the Niagara Convention Center. Very big, huge of a
Yeah.
party. I've
Yeah.
been there 3 days. We were staying in hotels, but the convention center is beautiful.
Very
That's
beautiful,
nice.
yes.
Okay, Seema ji,
Okay.
inform our viewers, as your dad was a businessman in pharmaceutical industry, and
Yes.
and what else he was? He was with the textile mills. To throw some light
Yes,
on it.
actually, when
Repeat
when
your
when I
question.
was
I'm sorry.
born, my father had a pharmaceutical industry as well as a textile mill, and I when I grew up, basically when I was old enough, I saw the pharmaceutical factory because he got rid of the textile, and then I came. Then he bought another factory. It was more like multi-purposes, and both my brothers were helping my dad, and he was a great person, not only as a like popular not only in the family, in
Mhm.
friends, but he was a successful businessman. And I think, even though I had never worked in Pakistan, I was busy studying, then got married,
Very
and
good,
then
very
came
good.
here. I had a feeling that business can be a good thing, and I started from the scratch. Luckily, things went well, and then after that, after US, then I obviously tried here. But family definitely matters, when you see your family working hard and
Struggling.
struggling, and I mean, and even in India, they had a very good background. My grandfather, he was a doctor, he was a civil surgeon there. He studied from UK at that time. He was very, and one of my uncle was a commissioner in Lucknow too. So just like your uncle, I guess. So I mean, I do see that there was a lot of passion, in the family, and not only about.
But our blood is from the political blood. His
Yeah.
father was also in the politics. He
Yeah.
was, and we are privileged to say, we proudly say, the first Constituent Assembly of Pakistan.
Right.
My uncle's dad was also
Wow.
there as an
Wow.
MP.
Well, Seema, although your dad is not from political background, but I realized from your bio there are some involvement. Like he was the All India
Muslim
Muslim
League.
League.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is his involvement and
Yes.
how it affected your life? And
Yeah, actually, I'm the youngest in the family,
Okay.
and my eldest brother is more like a father figure to me. So my father passed away when I was only 9. So I saw a lot of pictures, like his involvement, and wearing jinnah hair, and all that. So I was like,
You
okay.
impressed.
I mean,
Your dad was
you
in, yeah,
feel
definitely.
that kind of
That the history was there. So, okay, so Seema, we also note that one of your daughter is a physician in Canada who is a practicing physician, and even your son belongs to a medical field. So, would you like to say some few words about your great intelligent children serving the economy of Canada?
Sure. Actually, my daughter here, she's a family physician, and she's working in Georgetown.
Very good.
And I feel very blessed. My sons are also working as a sleep technologist. And the eldest one right now, after the COVID, you know how the things are right now. So basically, with his savings, he purchased a small property in New Brunswick, and he's
awesome.
flipping it and working 90%
Beautiful,
himself
beautiful.
with some other people there.
Lovely, lovely.
So
That's the way
this is
to
a
grow in Canada.
Canada,
That's
true.
the way to grow. So we'll be taking a short break. And after a short break, we'll be back with you soon. Welcome back after our short break of Voice of Canada. Our female co-host is Ghada Hamadani, your host Asphandiar Wadiwalla, and we are going to continue our rest of our interview with our honored guest Seema Siddiqui.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show. So we are really happy. We are talking so much about so many things, variety of things in your life, what has happened about Pakistan, about India, and all. So let's continue the interview.
Sure.
Okay, welcome back, Seema, and welcome
you.
back, Aspin. So, Seema, you had some involvement with your brother while he was running for the municipality election.
Yes.
So, can you tell us a little bit about that campaign, your role,
Yes.
how you managed?
I was in college at that time, and he was the candidate for the councillor for DHA, Defence Housing Authority, in Karachi, Phase 8. He used to live in the Phase 2 extension then, and basically when I tried doing a lot of campaigning for him. I used to drive at times, park the car, walk, and go to, just like here, house to house, and basically introduce my brothers,
Mhm.
about him, and also distribute flyers, and a lot of time collect information.
Campaign style.
Like the small. There was a campaign, so I was part of it, and then I used to take a lot of feedback too, and issues and all what they have, and then I used to let my brother know, and he won he was there as a counselor, and he did very well. And also basically my both brothers were also very active with the Rotary and Lions
We are coming
Club.
on that
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
We are coming. The next
So
question
it has
belongs to
been-
that only.
Yeah.
We'll asking you. So Seemaji, we also see from your bio, as you have mentioned, about the two great movements, the world movements, the Lions Club and the Rotary. So I was the Rotarian back in Pakistan for about 11 or 12 years. I even achieved the height as elected director international
Oh, wow.
in Rotary, and we did very well. But Lions Club, there was some other members, family, they were involved, but I always Rotary attracted me.
My eldest brother, Dr. Muhammad Harun Siddiqui, maybe you know
Mhm.
him as
Then
well.
now
Yeah.
that name sounds familiar.
Yes. So he's the one who was the counselor too, and my other brother, Dr. Muhammad Tariq Siddiqui, has been. Both of them have been president for Lions Karachi Lions.
So
too.
we can move forward with the question, our question about the Lion and the Rotary. But you did your BSc from Karachi,
Yes.
the very popular college university of our time,
Yes.
and I think still it is a popular
Yes, very
college. So
very
it
popular
was
college.
opposite Hotel Intercontinental. Am I right?
No, actually, this
No?
is the one near the stadium.
Home economics. Acha, it was a
It was
stadium because
stadium.
there was one.
Now there's a Al Khan Hospital there across
Right,
to it.
right,
Yes.
right. So there were two because there was one women's
Ah.
college of economics
No, this is
opposite
the,
Intercontinental
no,
Hotel.
Yeah, no,
You know,
definitely.
so okay, my apologies. So you just tell us about how you did your BSc.
Well, actually, I did it from the College of Home Economics. So there was, obviously, the way the Home Economics College works, they have both subjects, arts and science.
Mhm.
So it's a combination, and it's a great place to study. Especially, I think it's very good, especially for women, because they teach you both sides, right? You get not only knowledge about economics and all, because they tell you home management,
Mhm.
a lot of things.
A lot of things they teach a
Yes.
woman. They make
Yeah.
a woman, a lady ready
Ready. I
to
think it
face
was
the life.
Yeah, so I think it was a good booster, a head start. But I was at that time, when a person is young, you don't think how the life is
How
going
the
to
things
be
are
and
going to shape. Yeah.
shape up, But it's a great place, actually, great
Thank you.
institute.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as we see, you had passion for your homeland country, Pakistan. So, and it seems you're trying to do some good things for your back home, actually. So, we'd like you to tell us a little bit more. It's like how you try to help your sisters, brothers back home.
Actually, my brothers, they're, as I told you, I'm the youngest, so I'm not in a position to help them.
Okay.
But
Children are here.
and but the thing is that all I try at the moment, I opened a small NGO over here,
Oh.
and I don't take government. I haven't applied for the government fundings yet, but I try always, in my own ways. I was never involved with Rotary here or Lions,
Mhm.
but I always used to, even when I was in US or over here, I used to always send charity to ED Trust, which is a
Mhm.
Pakistani, very
He did a
popular
great
in all
job.
the.
Yeah,
Then
I met him. I also had the honor of
yes.
meeting him.
Oh wow, he was a great
Yeah,
person.
a great
sure.
humanitarian.
Very true. I mean, it's very rare to have people. I mean,
A
like
person
him
who
because
worked and worked and worked for the humanity.
that's so. And
You
very
know,
sincere.
and then his wife followed his footsteps, and his
Very
wife
true.
is also no more with us. And now I
Yes.
think his son is running the foundation,
And they
the
have
foundation.
done a good job, you know. So I mean, there were different ways of helping, you know, people who are needy back home. And through my NGO also, I try to send whatever is possible for the food, clothing, and you know, studies, especially.
But they did a great job. But poor thing, they were killed by another political party of Sindh. In the later years, he was doing a fantastic job. But
who
that
was killed? Sorry.
means not killed, means his activities were slowed
Activities
down.
were
He had
slowed
to
down.
slow down.
And that
Kill
is
means
always, yeah, that,
because that political party became really a sort of a mafia style
yes,
operating. So they
all
really
parties are.
slowed his activities, and the poor thing had to slow down and go into little bit of low key.
See, that's the reason a lot of time good families, people from good families, they don't get involved in politics in Pakistan. And trust me, I had no intention to go in politics here. I was busy, you know, with my children, with my, you know,
Family life.
family life, with my work actually, because I'm in US. I used to even support my ex-husband, you know, and
To study.
to study.
Wow, I salute you.
So basically, you know, I was so busy. You know, even in Niagara, I was like working 7 days a week, right? Because I had two
Souvenir
stores.
shop is
Yes.
a 7 day.
Yes.
Well, and you're certified as national trade professional, so
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
yes, not only helping, but you are working on yourself, investing in yourself. too.
Yeah, actually, you know, I always wanted to study here in North America, but in US, my children were small. I was doing wholesale souvenirs. I had no time for studies for my, you know, I really wanted to. When I came to Canada, the first year was really, I mean,
Tough.
we came actually in August. And after 2 months, I started the souvenir shop, and then winter started, right? And I was like, I mean, how can, and it was only the first store we got at that time, obviously. And then I opened the second store from the scratch. But the thing is, when I purchased the first store, I was like so active in Orlando, and I was sitting at home and I was feeling so depressed. So I told, you know, I said, this is the time that I should study. Because by the time the stores are going to open, you know, might as well
study. Full-fledged business.
Yes. So I went to the Niagara College, asked the professor. They said it's a 3 years course, you know, and this and that.
For the business management.
Yes, for the international business management. But when I, you know, obviously gave the credentials, and also they counted my business experience from Orlando. So they gave me the 1 year program. They put me in the 1 year one, and they said it's going to be really like you have to, I mean, really invest your time here. So I said, if I'm going to join, I'm going to. But if I'm not going to, then obviously. Then I made my mind and I did that. And luckily, I got distinctions in that. And I was not a very good student when I was young in college in Pakistan because I was not that fond of studying. But when I came here, it was something more that because before it was my mother's pressure, right? That, you know, you have to study.
Seema, I would
Now
like
your
to
choice.
add one question over here. The question is that as you saw the market and you dealt with the business of Orlando and Niagara. So inform our viewers, viewers will be thinking at the same time, I'm also thinking which market was good. Niagara Falls was better in souvenir selling, or Orlando. Orlando is equally popular.
Orlando is more better because of the season. There's no seasonal issue there. It's
they have 12 months year round. Okay.
So
that was the reason.
Yes, I was like really, I mean, at that time I was really earning well, you know. But when I came here and I opened the stores, I mean, things were not bad, to be honest. But the way the winter is harsh, 3-4 months, we used to spend that all the saving, basically, you know, live on those.
Definitely, with the Niagara thing. Niagara is a seasonal place.
That's
very, very seasonal place. But people visit, the shops do open for shorter hours. The shops don't keep closed.
Yes.
Because I've seen in winter also, the market do open, but for very short hours.
And also, you know.
And the business is slump. So they are trying to import the goods and they are trying to renovate the shops and the businesses and all during winter.
Yeah.
And also one more thing is that now, even in Orlando at that time, when the businesses were doing very well, the souvenir business, as soon as they started putting the souvenirs in Walmart,
Hmm.
the stores got affected little bit
Okay.
because people used to go there and get
True.
better deals in different
It's one
ways.
stop
Yeah,
shop
because
there.
it's basically also the buying power, right? Because it's humongous, for
Yeah.
and small gift shops have a limited buying power
Sure.
too. So basically, I noticed that in Canada, people who are traveling within, like Canadians or people from Toronto, locals who are coming, obviously they won't buy the souvenirs. They are locals, right?
Yeah.
They have
But
moved
locals do buy also, because
little
whenever,
bit,
see,
yeah.
we are Canadian,
Yes,
but whenever we go to Niagara,
yeah.
we buy a
End up little
souvenir
bit,
or two,
yeah.
bring
Sure,
from
yeah.
Niagara.
Yeah, but it's not as the way
Not the quantity, yeah. What the Middle Eastern people and the people are coming from abroad
States
would
and
buy
all, yeah.
quantity wise. Go ahead. So we'll be taking a short break, and after a short break, we'll be back with you soon. Welcome back after our short break of Voice of Canada. Our female co-host is Ghada
So
Hamadani.
I realized that you joined the Liberal Party. So which level and why you joined the Liberal Party?
Well, actually, when I came to Canada, Liberal Party was the party that was the ruling party
Ruling
then.
party. The Trudeau's, the senior Trudeau was there
That's
ruling.
right.
Yeah.
And at that time, I found that Canada was really doing great, very peaceful country. I love you staying in US, but I found Canadians more side more peaceful as compared to a lot of activities
Compassionate and peaceful.
Yes, and crime rates also were lesser as
Much
compared
lesser.
to
Too much.
if you see
We did not had crime in
It
Canada
was, yeah.
just now
Exactly.
recently with all
Yes.
these issues and the COVID and
Yeah.
lots of immigration.
Even before COVID,
Prior
actually,
that,
it
there was
started.
no crime.
Exactly.
We were the lowest crime wise.
Exactly.
We had no enemy. Canada never is to fear for anything about the war or anything. We have the smallest army. We have the
Yeah.
smallest
We don't
equipment.
need to
But
fight.
now,
Yeah.
now we
We
are
don't-
opening our eyes that we need equipment. We need aircrafts. We need helicopters because the enemies
for the
are emerging.
safety,
Yeah.
security wise. Yeah, that is actually one of the reason. And when I was when I moved from after 9/11, when I moved to Mississauga, back to Mississauga, I basically, because when I landed, I was in Mississauga for 2 months, and then I chose Niagara. When I moved back to Mississauga, one of the some candidate came to me, and he was a
Mhm.
liberal, so I did some volunteer there too at Streetville, a location where I used to live before, and that's how
That's how you got
That's how
involved
you
with the
involved in
liberal.
city,
No
yeah.
problem. It's the individual's choice. We are very open-minded Canadians. They
And-
don't, as far as you're a Canadian and you play Canadian politics, it's fine.
And
We
basically,
all-
both parties
yeah.
are very good, to be honest, because they both have. There are always pros and cons, so you
Of
can't,
course, yeah.
like.
But to me, I always ask this question, it's like from that background, we all came from Middle East or
Yes.
from
All
the
left
Far
wingers.
East. We are, yeah,
Mine's
came
are left
from
wingers.
yeah. But I realized something that although most people join liberal, which is lefties, but in reality, our values and principles, it matches conservative here. For us, liberality actually is equivalent to conservativeness here. It's due to our principles, families, principles, and values. So that's why I always ask, it's like in reality, actually the left equal rights here.
Yeah, actually, a very interesting question, but what I have noticed, to be very honest, and it's not that I'm talking just because I'm more towards liberal, because I came, here, I saw Liberal Party ruling and doing good job, and, a lot
We
of
all
good
did the
things.
same, by the way,
Exactly.
like when we came, because they were ruling. And for us, that's the idea. No, they are with immigrants and stuff. But then we started studying. Then we decide, regardless what you say.
See,
So let's move forward
Yeah.
because we have got some very interesting questions.
Sure.
And the time I'm seeing that shortly our time will be over. So we would like to move a question with you. How did you join hands with General Pervez Musharraf?
Well, it's a very strange. I mean, the way everything happens. Sometimes things are meant to be, I guess. I was after this souvenir stuff and 9/11. I started working for Radisson Plaza and then for Lifetime Water Systems and Liberty Tax Services. So when I was working with one of the companies, and I on one weekend I slipped from the stairs after my divorce.
Uh-huh.
Basically, that was my first. We moved from this. I'm from Mississauga to Milton. There was an 8 months, resting period
Mm-hmm.
because of the tailbone fracture.
Wow, wow.
And I was my children were all in universities, and I downsized at that time. And I felt, I had to kill time. How much TV can you watch, right? So I started going more on Facebook, and I started.
But you knew General Pervez Musharraf personally?
No, never.
Wow.
I never met him before.
Oh my God.
I used to like him a lot, and in fact, when he was coming to,
He came to Canada?
when he came to Canada at that time, I used to work 40 hours. So I wanted to go, but I had no
You
choice.
did not meet him
I
then
could,
also?
no.
Okay.
And the second time when I saw the ad in the newspaper, I got very excited, and I was like, I called and I said I would certainly like to
Join.
attend the
APML,
event.
you want to join
I
this
wanted,
party?
I wanted to hear him. That's all, basically at that point. And then all of a sudden, I came to know that he's not coming. He went to US, but he was not well, and he went back to
Uh-huh.
UAE. But the thing is, I was just busy answering some questions on Facebook, and a lot of people were discussing about Pakistan, politics, this and that. So I started giving answers, to my friends and acquaintances about Pakistani politics. And I love to do research and all, I Google through Google and all. Probably CITP, that course really helped me in that kind of a thing. So basically, I did some research, and I used to answer a lot of questions because I had time. I was bed resting at that time. So when I started giving all the answers, whatever I could, I started getting some messages,
Mhm.
and it was from APML. I said, "Who are you guys?" Right? Then when it was my birthday, I got a card saying "Happy Birthday" from APML. And then I texted people and I said, "What? Who is this? And why are you texting me all this?"
And how they came to know about you?
I don't know. They just saw my,
Surprising.
their social media was great then, right? So basically, they said that they asked me that just whatever you are, replying on behalf of General Musharraf or Pakistani politics, who is telling you all this? How do you know it? I said, I mean, anyone can figure out if you Google and you see, and if you know what kind of a person he is, this could be the reason, They said, you know what? We want you to Google APML now. I said, okay.
Uh-huh.
I said, I will, because
Lovely.
I don't know
Yeah.
why you're bugging me a lot. And then I Googled and I came to know General Musharraf's party. And I was like, what? Some kind of a joke. And I said, are you really with General Musharraf or what?
So who all were dealing over here prior to you?
Actually, there was a team here, but they moved towards, I think, another party, I think
Uh-huh.
PTI or something, or some other party, I don't know. So basically, there was a new group who took
Okay.
over.
Okay.
So then I was told that, the people because I spoke to them over the phone, right? So they said, there's Shazad Shah, why don't you, I think you should talk to him and he's going to give you a call too. I said, okay. Then they called me from Canada. They said, are you Seema Siddiqi? I said, yeah. Are you the one who was trying to attend the event? I
Mhm.
said, yes, I wanted to hear General Musharraf. They said, we got a call from Pakistan. They want us to take you as a social media coordinator.
wow.
I said, really? He said, yes.
Yeah.
Then it was more confirmed that it was General Musharraf's
Was,
party,
yeah.
right? I said, it's an honor to be a part of a person like General Musharraf, right? And though, and obviously these positions are volunteer positions because he's not a corrupt
Right,
leader, so he never used to.
Seema ji, let me tell
Sure.
you a very brief story about General Pervez Musharraf.
Mhm.
It was the wedding reception of what we call in Pakistan a walima
Mhm.
of my nephew.
Mhm.
And he attended that walima as C of Pakistan Army. And we never knew. We all met him. We welcomed him because he was from our same area. And the reception was at my uncle's house,
Mhm.
the walima. So, but we never knew in 3 days' time, General Pervez Musharraf is going to be the president of Pakistan. And on the same night of the walima, he left for Sri Lanka. You know that was a historic trip. And after 3 days, when he was returning, his aircraft was not allowed to land. And they kept the aircraft in the air. It was a sort of they came to know the rulers over there is going to go for a bloodless crew or something.
Yes.
So after negotiating in the air for over 2 hours, the aircraft was finally allowed to land. But the very next day, the coup did happen and he took the power.
Yes.
He took the power. And
Very
he
true.
became the president of Pakistan and the
Yes.
chief martial law administrator in Pakistan.
Because the tussle started after Kargil also, right? Between General.
But I'm telling you, our
Yes.
association,
Yes.
the day he attended, he was a CNC.
Wow.
And in 3 days' time, nobody had dreamt that he will be the president
Even
of
he didn't know.
Pakistan. No. Planning was there because
but-
the thing had leaked out. By the time he could land, his aircraft was.
No, that
That's a long story. It's a history.
Definitely. But he was also like he was obviously not prepared for such a big
And
responsibility.
I think it was
after the coup,
Nawaz Sharif's government.
Yes.
Nawaz Sharif's government.
Well, Seema, it seems you have, like vast experience in politics. Although you said you don't want to run or get involved in Canadian politics, but I think it's like you might think to run, or is there anything in the
try because you have got a zeal.
Anything in the horizon between field and military?
And you have got a big community.
Yes,
Your community is very visible, and you can easily get the support from it. Not a person like me who has got 500 people of his community. So at least you have got a vast community in Mississauga and Milton.
I can definitely count on your community and yours too, right?
But we are such a small numbers that we cannot fight the elections. That's the only reason.
I totally understand. The thing is, I don't know. I mean, yet
you start working hard. If you want to, you just find a direction for yourself, find a position in the party, work hard and make yourself visible and prove to the current leadership that you can do something for the country and for Canada.
Actually, I'm working as a director for the Eden
Mills riding. Okay. Liberal riding.
With Ikra Khalid.
With Ikra Khalid.
Okay.
Very good.
So I'm with her for the last few years, and I am active in Liberal Party as well as I try to go to some of the.
You have attended our events also. I've seen you in lots of our conservative events too.
Community events also.
Yes.
So whenever whoever invites, I got an invite for the Ramadan for the mayor from the mayor of Brampton as well.
Lovely, yeah. He's a very
but I was
multicultural.
Then, so but I mean they always invite quite a few things. It's great, the leadership itself. Both leaders are great, actually. Yeah. We are lucky to have, both great parties here in Canada. Yeah. And
Seema ji, will you be giving a concluding remarks because the production is giving us a signal that we have to end the interview. We had quite a lengthy talk with you, quite a detailed. Few questions we were unable to ask, but maybe during the later part of the year, if you have got time and if you have got material to come, we can call you as Seema Siddiqi Part 2.
Sure, why not? First of all, I would like to thank Awaz TV as well as
the Voice of Canada,
because it's an honor to be part of your show, and I believe that everyone who is basically in Canada, I would just say that you guys are lucky that you are in a country where there is so much, respect for the immigrants, and being new immigrants or even being citizens, it is a civic responsibility, basically, to participate and to respect the country where we are, and we should always where everyone is recognized by the community. So one should always try to do the best for their own whatever background they are from, for at least with wholeheartedly, so that
and try to be Canadians first.
Yes.
Because Canada doesn't have any state religion.
Yes.
So we should not play with the religion here in Canada.
Religion
so I always tell in my programs, Canada has got no religion. So let's not discuss religion with the politics in Canada.
Exactly.
We work for Canada. And definitely Canada is going to progress and prosper.
I think religion, politics is something very personal, but there should be mutual
respect.
No,
there are countries which has got a state religion. India, Pakistan, and many Middle Eastern countries. But our Canada has got
And
no
it's a
religion.
multicultural.
It's no religion. There is no state religion. Very simple. Our constitution
Everyone
says
is
we are not.
open to
We have no
practice their
religion
own
at all.
religions,
So
and
that's why we must respect the dignity
exactly,
of our constitution.
very, very important. So I think it was really a very, like, I really like that. Very questions were very interesting.
We tried to
And
give you the best questions. We were about
and
4 or 5 questions were left, but anyhow, God willing, if we invite you again, we'll be able to pull that along and
definitely,
keep
and
well, keep working for Canada, for Pakistan, and for your family.
thank you very
So
much,
good
Ali.
night. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz,
Bawi.
Allah Hafiz,
And adios.
good
We'll be
night.
back next week with Voice of Canada, new guest, and our host, Asphandiar Wadiwalla and Ghada Hamadani are signing off. Good night.